Thank you for coming along. This is going to be the third episode of the Spread the Love series. I'm going to be chatting to Ayesha tonight. She's someone that I met, or I just became aware of through the Jam Cafe open mics that I really love going to before COVID, and hopefully I'm really looking forward to going back to them because it's such a good space to meet creatives, and it's just I've discovered so many people through there that I didn't even know existed, and it's really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna bring in Ayesha in a second. I hope you're all doing all right and surviving. I hope that this is helping a bit. I think it's nice to just chat to some other people because it's kind of what we need to do at the moment. It's what I've been doing for my own music, and I think if anyone's got any kind of platform, it's kind of nice to share it with the people that I admire and I think are doing good. And one of those people is Ayesha, so I will add her in right now and we'll say hello. A song later as well, so looking forward to that. Hello.
Hey up, you alright?
How are you?
Not bad. I just had a Wagamama's, treated myself.
Oh, lovely. I'm very jealous of that. Awesome.
Alright?
Well, thank you for coming on. If people don't know who you are, do you want to introduce yourself, what you're about?
Yeah, I can do. Hello, I'm Ayesha. I'm a producer, singer-songwriter from Derby. I met Charity at the Jam Cafe open mic night. The first time I went in there, she was wicked. It was a very lovely night.
Except from that one guy.
Yeah, apart from the one guy who was bringing the bad vibes, but was quickly kind of from the whole scene.
Yeah, I'm glad everyone rallied around. I just felt so sorry. There's this guy doing comedy, and then this guy at the bar was just like shouting at him, and was just like, I'm like, well, you've come to an open mic. You can't like tell people to not do an open mic. So
I did feel a bit sorry for him. It's the last thing you want when you're up there, and like it's pretty daunting to get up there anyway. So to get up there and have somebody be that rude, it's like, come on, man, nobody asked for that.
Yeah.
Like, if you've not got something good to say, just don't say anything at all. Walk away.
Exactly. It was such a nice atmosphere anyway. Just that one thing, but well, it was all good anyway.
I'm looking forward to being able to go back there for the second time.
Yeah.
It was not that long before this kicked off, so I'm excited to go back down there again. Get myself back Knott's Way.
Yeah, it's a really nice venue there. Everyone's really nice and friendly. Yeah, regarding like COVID and stuff, how have you been creatively? How have you been finding it?
Difficult to keep motivated. I've been through a right journey this time, I'll be honest. I was working in a bar right before this kicked off, and obviously bar work and music clash a little bit in terms of trying to book gigs when you work busy weekends. So like one of my main things that I needed to sort out was I wanted to change jobs. I think in a way this was a good thing for me because the furlough drove me a bit mental, and that kind of kicked me up the arse to get a new job and sort it out. So I'm now working a day job, which is good times, because it means that I'll be able to book gigs and stuff when I get back and not have to worry about trying to get the time off work as well. But like in terms of music writing, I think I've written more than I'd like to give myself credit for, but I still always just feel like I'm like lagging behind. But I have to kind of remind myself, like everybody feels that way. It's not just you that's been on pause for that last year. Like every other musician in the industry is in the exact same position. No one can gig or release anything the way they want to. So it's not like I'm falling behind. We're kind of all stuck at the minute. I think it's easy to think like, oh wow, everybody, like when you see people who are a bit bigger or have big labels behind them and stuff, to feel like, oh, they're releasing all this music and they're doing so well even during the pandemic. Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not doing that? And then like kind of kindly remind yourself, okay, you're not massive, you haven't got a massive label, and you've kind of got no means to get there at the minute. Like, calm down, go easy on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that I think most people have been struggling with at the moment, because it's really hard to get out of the headspace of like social media and stuff and actually like focus on what you're doing, because even if you're doing nothing, that's fine. It's like it's a pandemic.
I think I spent the majority of the first lockdown watching Avatar. and then started watching Legend of Korra, the second one. And honestly, that is wholesome TV that has kept me going the whole way through this. And I just like, keep myself like, it's fine to just sit down and binge watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a kid show, but it's a very good one and I'd recommend it. I was just trying to kick myself onto the computer, because I know once I sit down at the computer, I'll start producing stuff. But it's like actually getting myself there is a bit of a challenge sometimes. And then even then, like sometimes I get to the computer and I'm like, I don't have any ideas. Like my mind blank. I don't know what I'm doing just sitting here. I might as well be sitting downstairs with a glass of water. I think like I like to remind myself, this is everybody at the minute. Everybody's like, whoa, everything's been thrown out of whack. I don't know where I am or what's going on anymore. Haven't seen my friends in weeks. So I'm like, it's not just me, is my main kind of thing. So like I really appreciate you doing something like this as well. You're like getting everyone and talking and everybody kind of communicating again, because I think you're right, we all need that. Like that's the biggest kind of rock in an ocean of randomness this year, is just the occasional message from somebody who I really get on and being like, I'm glad it's not just me, we have each other.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've found that like I didn't realize how little like actual, I know this isn't like interaction how it should be, but like I hadn't sat down and had a conversation with like someone that I hadn't like seen for ages, and it just feels so nice to just talk to someone new, because like we know who each other are, but we've never actually, you know, sat down and had a conversation about it.
Yeah,
it's
true.
nice meet new people,
have a one-on-one, which I haven't had one-on-one with a wallet in a very I can't talk. See, this is the thing as well. Like, I think I've forgotten about how to have a conversation. I like run in the street and be like, I don't know what to say to them anymore. I don't know how to conversate. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be weird.
The middle section of this year is pretty much summed up by me awkwardly stammering in front of people until I walk away and go and hide in my cave for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I can relate to that. So I think, weren't you planning like a release launch just before COVID? Because that's one of the things that is so annoying, that everyone had all these plans and then suddenly it was gonna be so good and then it just got whipped under your feet.
I've kind of I've healed from it now, but it took me a lot of getting over it to begin with. It's like my first initial ever single. I proper geared up. I put so many hours of work into making that thing properly go and do as well as it could for a first single. And then COVID happened. Literally the month before it was supposed to drop, I had the whole gig lined up. I booked all the support. I paid for the venue and everything. I sorted it all out and, you know, made sure it was going to be awesome. And then to watch that announcement come in and go, well, there's definitely nothing I can do about that. The venue have finally said, you know, when things kick back off, Blacksmith's Lounge says that we'll be able to do it again, but it still kind of took me a while to go, you know, like you can't do anything about the fact that this has failed this time, but you can do something about it in the future. But the first sort of months or so, I was very sad about it, I won't lie.
Yeah, but no, it sounded like it was going to be really good.
Yeah. Well, it was still good, and the live stream was
exactly.
It's not the way that I want a gig. Obviously, nothing compares to a proper live gig where you can see people's like reactions in real time. It was really weird performing to a computer screen and then reading the comments later on what people were saying at the time and being like, oh shit, I know what you guys were on about earlier when you said that the screen had gone black. Luckily, I was watching downstairs, so she comes upstairs and she's like, the screen's gone black, it's gone. I was like, oh, it's a good job. Someone told me I'd have gotten the whole gig through just on a blank screen.
Yeah.
And it. So in that sense, it's like, gigging on a computer, not my favourite thing. But still,
it's weird.
Still better than no gig. And it was not bantering in the comments and stuff. I appreciate that. I got like a bunch of people who wanted to watch the release in talking to each other, and we're all sat on the sofa with a beer.
Good.
So positives. But damn, I can't wait to perform a live gig again. I can't wait to go to a live gig again, and I can't wait for a proper pint of Guinness.
Oh,
Jeez, want a pint of Guinness. I don't want this canned shit. It doesn't matter how you pour it or whether you put it in the fridge. It's just not the same. So that's my one of my main things I'm looking forward to. Gigs.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I'm like, it's really hard not to get super excited, and like you have to kind of be cautiously optimistic, but it's just what's getting everyone through at the moment, isn't it? And it's kind of a testament to how important it is that like the most of the people I've spoken to is what are you looking forward to? They're like a pint at a gig. That's it.
Pretty much. Although yeah, you're right about the like cautious optimism. The amount of like changing the rules last minute, it's like,
Yeah.
are they going to do it on the 21st of June, or am I going to book that day off work only for them to change it to a month later? You know, I'm like, I'm hanging on to the optimism. I'm trying to ride the wave of optimism. I really don't want to think about it being delayed even longer. I'm sure that my auntie Cass's got 2 little kids who've just gone back to school, and she's over the moon. She's working, and everybody says, oh, you know, like, oh, you need to keep the kids at home and stuff. I don't know how they're expecting these parents to work. So I could picture her thing. She's just like, please keep them in school now. Please don't put them back at home. She's got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, and she's trying to work a full-time job. It's just like, it's not feasible. Come on.
It's mental. I feel like I'm struggling with my stuff, and it's just like how are these people coping? And I think it's, you know, you got to get them back at some point, haven't we?
Yeah. There's only so long you can keep messing us about until eventually things start to trickle back in to normal.
Yes.
Like, so long that he leaves it, and it's going to end up in uproar, and I think they don't want public disorder, so
no.
hopefully they lift it before something like that happens, because I know people are getting really like aggy now, and it's not nice to watch it either. Like, you go like, this is not an everyone thing. There are those shining gems in the sea of people whenever you leave the house for going to the shop or whatnot, but you're seeing a lot more of like really hostile seeming people. Like, for some people, I think it's put a proper barrier in front of them and the rest of the world. My dad, we call him a hobby bobby. He's a special constable, so he does it part-time, police working, and went to the shop. We only sent him to get some peppers for a curry. Like, I have no idea how he finds this trouble going about this, but went down to the co-op, and some angry bird came in. He was obviously just not spoken to a real person in a very long time, absolutely livid at just everyone for nothing, because there were rules in place, barged into a load of people, was like, get out of my way, I'm in a rush, I need some fags, upset everybody, almost broke out a fight. My dad was like, whoa, like, I'm fed, I got a warrant, you need to go home because this is not on. It's like, I don't care how much you dislike the rules, do you have to be an arse to everybody in the room? Nobody wants this, come on.
No, so you gotta be nice to each other, otherwise it's just gonna not end well. And it's like the only thing that's getting you through is people, you're like, oh, okay, that's someone was nice to me today. Like, the one person that I interacted with was nice, which is good.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a weird time.
It is weird, it's weird. And like, creatively it's a minefield, because that singer you're talking about, somebody close to me, so that's the only one that you've released at the moment, but do you have other ones in the works ready for when we can?
Although, to be honest, I've just kind of done a little 180 on myself, and I don't know how much longer it's going to take me now. I was doing a bunch of electronic stuff similar to that somebody close to me. I've just managed to get a band together, which I've been keeping on the down low, but I'm super excited because that means rehearsal studios are going to open on the 12th, and then hopefully I can start rehearsing and getting the proper band stuff. But all the band stuff, like, that was what I was going to play tonight as well.
Yeah, I love that song.
It's really, really differently though. So I've done all of this work on a bunch of produced stuff, and now I'm like, okay, I kind of need to throw some of this band stuff in there. That's the direction I go. Either that or split it into 2 products. I don't know. I'll roll with the flow, and we'll release something when we're ready.
Yeah, awesome. I guess it's kind of fun and interesting, especially for listeners, to have, you know, maybe like a produced version and then the live version is completely different. Like, I quite enjoy playing my tracks like completely differently at gigs, just because it makes it interesting for you. It keeps it new and it keeps it fresh for everyone as well.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like, genre defying, and then just like, how the fuck do I market this? It's kind of a problem with this. It's like, as much as I want to be like, I'm just Ayesha, I write whatever music I want to write. It's also kind of, if I'm writing an electronic press kit, it's like, there needs something to latch onto. It can't just be like, I'm mystical and new and you've never heard anything like me. I've read that sentence a million times, so I'm kind of like, I do need to package it as one thing. But then again, Gorillaz, with some of their older albums and stuff, like, even some of their newer stuff, like, it's all over the place. It's anything from pop to punk. It's...
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. The little internal battle that I like to have with myself very regularly.
Yeah, I mean, like that track, do you because it is quite electronic, like you say, and it's quite produced, and I think it's kind of, it is different. It sounds really cool. Like all the sounds in it are very unique, and like even if it was, you know, a classic beat or something, there's always a way to find it. Oh my God, what am I saying? There's always a way.
Tripping on the word.
There's always a way to make it sound new and fresh, even if it's like an old hat trick or something like that. So like production wise, because do you only produce for yourself?
I was producing a few dance tracks with a couple of other female artists, hoping to try and put together like a dance female album together, a little EP together, and draw everyone up as robots, because I thought that'd be pretty nifty. That was something I kind of tried to hatch at the very beginning of lockdown. Obviously, all of us kind of all over the place throughout this, so it's kind of like bits have happened on it, bits haven't. One of them has kind of made it through to the mastering stage, but I'm still kind of like, when to release it, I don't know. Also, the last that I was writing it with is she's more into the kind of poppy chill stuff, whereas this is proper like an EDM banger. So it took some convincing to be like, I put a lot of work into this, can I release it? She says yes, but only if she can do the more chilled out version of the tune. And I was like, okay. So if I release this, I've signed myself up to another track's worth of work. But then again, it's kind of worth it, because you'll get something new and interesting on both sides of it then. But mixing wise though, the whole way through this, Jesus, fuck, I learned a lot of new mixing techniques.
Yeah.
I really did.
I bet it's like time to actually sit down and properly get into the nitty gritty and stuff.
Yeah. Well, a lot of like trying to pull my own hair out. Not being but definitely a lot of progress. Although, like, I kind of liked the balance beforehand, where it's like spend a few hours mixing something or producing something, trying to get vocals done or whatever. Then get to the point where I'm like trying to rip my hair out because I've spent too long on it in one go. And then going, right, okay, Dorothy Ella used to run the open mics on Tuesday, right, Dorothy Ella's got an open mic tonight. Leave the house, get up, use your legs, stop staring at a screen, go and perform for a bit. Like, it's still music, but it's also social. And it's just kind of like not having that. I'm having to find things to kind of replace that time with, which is interesting. Mostly ranting at my parents. Poor buggers. I would not want to live with me through this period. Just usually coming down, grabbing myself a glass of wine, running at my parents for a solid half hour is how I'd replace that sort of talking and not staring at a screen aspect. Bless them. Luckily, my mum has a habit of doing that when she's had a glass of wine too, so we're kind of, as far as I'm concerned, we're even Stevens.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird trying to find ways to keep it interesting, because I find that like all the stuff I do is on a computer. I'm always like sending emails or going on my phone and doing this and that, and it's kind of like, I want to go out and do something different, but it's kind of, what do you do at the moment?
Go for a walk. That's a really good one. Yeah. Get yourself out to the peaks if you can. I went on an absolutely petrifying walk across Kinder Scout with my partner. Jeez, yeah. We got lost in the middle of the peat bogs, and you know what? That made me feel alive again. I mean to get myself into that situation. I wouldn't do it by choice again, but it did make me feel alive. I came back and was like, well, I had an adventure today. I feel like I can handle staring at the screen right now. I feel like I'd be a lot more chill than thinking maybe I might have to call mountain rescue, and also being slightly out of the 5 mile jurisdiction. Don't tell Boris. And maybe getting in trouble with the law at the same time, which I really didn't fancy. But it worked. It made me feel alive.
Exactly, it's an adventure, just anything to get an adrenaline rush at the moment.
Although maybe not like hard drugs or alcoholism or anything like that, I probably would suggest. But
Yeah,
a good
maybe not.
walk that puts you on edge a bit. Yeah, all right then. Try that. That's almost legal fun. I was going to say legal fun, but it totally isn't at the moment because it's outside 5 miles. Jeez.
Oh, what a letdown. I can't even go for a walk now.
I know.
Outrageous.
Day and age where a walk was illegal outside of a 5 mile radius, but here we are.
Mad. Oh, it's just so strange. I think that's why I found myself kind of finding a solace in music and just putting on something and forgetting about everything and relaxing. Is that what you've been doing? Is there any like particular artists that have been helping you through it all?
About this because I thought it would be a bit boring, but I've been on the self-help train. I've been on the yoga with Adrian. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's a YouTuber who does free yoga videos for all sorts of. My sister introduced her, who I think is on this live stream at the moment, unless she's dropped off. Hey, but she was super helpful, like especially starting this office job shit, like being sat at a computer all day, like stretch my back out in the evenings, keep going. That and good old Michael Seeley is another YouTuber who does all these self-hypnosis sleep videos, and I watch them pretty much every night at this point. Yeah, it keeps me sane. It's all stuff like breathe calmly. This is time for just you, only you. And I kind of like that, like, especially me, I got a busy mind that's always trying to have a conversation with me when I'm trying to sleep. So to have somebody talking at me kind of shuts that voice up, and I can just go to sleep and try not to think about the world around me. It's really helpful stuff. I'd recommend it. I say, if you want any links for anything like that. I know it's a bit hippy dippy, but I'm a skeptic, right? And I like to find out the reason why things work. But I've kind of come to this conclusion with the yoga and this sleep hypnosis stuff. Like, it's free resource, and if it works, it fucking works. I don't care how, it just does the trick. So
exactly. It's one of the only things that like it's actually so hard to do it properly, and then when you actually do it properly, it feels so good. It's kind of when you sit down and relax, it's kind of hard to actually relax, and that puts you in a completely different state.
I would really recommend these videos, especially if you're like looking to get into something like meditation for just like calming down. Meditation doesn't have to be done on your own to begin with. It's not like I'm going to sit in a quiet room and I'm going to try really hard to relax. Like, it doesn't work. That's why these videos really help me out. Like, I've been struggling to break that wall of getting into regular meditation for a while, but this did it for me. It's guided meditation, essentially. It walks you into it until eventually you've listened to that many of them that you don't need the guiding voice to teach you how to get into that state anymore. You can just do it on your own. So if you wanted to get in something like that, I'd seriously suggest like try somebody walking you through it. And these resources are everywhere as well. People do them all different accents from all over the world. Like this guy, Michael Seeley's Australian dude, and he's just got this really calm Aussie accent. Perfect for me. Preference thing, obviously. You could listen to somebody who does it in a Scottish accent. It will be out there. This is the beauty of YouTube. But it's kind of like, it gives you that first step into learning how to do it so that you don't have to just sit down and try so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, it just doesn't work at all, is it? Good name.
One and Marks and Spencer's meal for one. Nice, mate. I mean, you've got their ways. Like, I'm not going to judge you for it. That's how relax in the evenings. Fair play. I was saying earlier, whatever gets you through.
Exactly. Have you found that, like, because obviously it's kind of different, like you say, like if you've got a label and a manager and deadlines and stuff, have you found that it's quite hard being an independent musician and having 100%. To make yourself do it?
I think I can speak for every single independent artist, and I mean not just music artists either. I mean people who are trying to run businesses off their own back, people who are, you know, like they're digital artists trying to sell prints and stuff. Like all these people, I can imagine have been having a tough time trying to look after their own business and keep themselves at it through just total chaos. Because the thing is, like, this spells chaos for people's relationships with their family, for people's, like, a lot of people's businesses. So for the people who have managed to carry themselves through this, like, damn, I have respect for you. I really do. Like, it's impressive to have gotten through this and still be somewhat in your right mind, let alone get through this and have business and products still moving, and to be still keeping that going, you know, like, big fucking shout out to I was working at Hyde Burger Bar in this sort of interim between this, before I dropped up into my new job, which is a boring office job that no one wants to know about. But guys, like, they got rocked around with this. They had the Eat Out to Help Out when they were manically busy, which is why they brought me on. And we're just really, really struggling to keep up with these COVID regulations, moving the tables around everywhere all the time, and just having like mad amounts of bookings come in, especially on the last one. Then it dropped completely dead. Then they brought another lockdown in, tried to start doing the delivering, weren't getting any deliveries because they're a restaurant, not a delivery, struggling like hell. They finally started to pick it back up now, and I'd seriously recommend their Sunday roasts if you can't be asked to cook one. Top notch. But the guy who runs it, Martin, like, serious respect to him and all the staff that work there with him, because they have proper had to work hard at keeping it going through this, and I'm glad, because it's one of my favourite. So I'd be gutted if it had gone down with this. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for the people who have been like pulling through this. But you know, at the same time, if you haven't, like we were saying earlier, just existing is a fucking achievement.
Yeah.
Lockdown.
It definitely is. I hope that all of the, you know, all the places that I love in Nottingham are still here. And I think there's so many people doing like merchandise and delivery and stuff, and you have to keep on supporting them. Otherwise, when we want to go back for a pint, they won't be there.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's part of the reason. It's like, you know, if your pubs, your local pubs are doing the takeaway ale, please go to them instead of the Co-op, because the Co-op will still be there.
Yeah.
Your local real ale pub, on the other hand, probably struggling quite a bit. Like, you can get money from the government, but the government's not renowned for being incredibly helpful in situations. So definitely, like, I'm crossing my fingers. I know Ryan's Bar, hopefully somebody's taken that on, is a Derby Wednesday night open mic they used to run in there called, at Ryan's Bar. Sam and Shane, a couple of guys who worked in there, used to run that on their Wednesday nights, and it was absolute quality. It was an awesome open mic, and they are sadly not there anymore after all of this. They're gone, but hopefully somebody's taken it over, and they are making it into a live music venue. So fingers crossed, we will get back off the back of this. I know we've lost, not directly related to this, but we've lost Dog and Moon and Derby at the moment. So fingers crossed we can cling on to a few of really good music venues. I think hopefully places like the Flower Pot and the Smithfield will pull through. I'm really looking forward to getting back over to Nottingham. I hope those venues are still open, because I've only had a chance to briefly peruse Nottingham at the moment, so I'm really looking forward to getting back on that scene.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to seeing you again at some open mics. Hopefully, once you get a full band, we'll come and listen. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I can't wait, mate. I am really excited. The group of people who I've got together as well, all sound, all so talented. Band politics should hopefully not be an issue. One, my dad's the drummer. He's a wicked drummer. He's been drumming since he was like 13, and I've been pestering him. Please, can we put a music thing together? And he's like, I'll do something if you sort something out. And then I think part of this is on me. Eventually, I just went, right, I'm going to check out how much a rehearsal studio is in Derby. I'm going to sort it out. I'm going to see when they're opening up again. I'm going to ask all four of the people who I've got in mind. And the worst that can happen is they say no. And somehow they all said yes. And I'm absolutely buzzing on it, because Jid is an awesome lead guitarist. The guy's playing lead guitar. I've actually got him on one of the records. So I'm trying to close this little chat box. It's sitting right in the front of everything. Yeah. But awesome. He's on the records that I've done. So I'm buzzing to release that, but obviously probably going to hold back until things really start to open up again. And then I've got a guy called Manny Watts, who is just hippie is the way I would describe him. He's a proper fucking hippie. Really chilled out. But he's a bass player, and I'm really glad that he said he'd get involved as well. So fingers crossed, when everyone's in a rehearsal studio together, it will be just as good dynamics.
Yeah, it sounds great. I mean, like, it's exciting, isn't it? Something new for you as well, for when we can open up. But yeah, I'm very excited to hear it. Do you want to give people a taste of what they might hear?
Yeah, Andy.
At a gig.
I didn't bring my guitar.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it won't be the produced version, but it's everything that it would be in front of a band. I've played this one quite a few times out and about. But yeah, I'm going to show up talking about it and just play it, to be honest.
Go for it.
I talk bollocks, I can't help it. You think you love me, baby? I think you fed too much. That's something I maybe to make you think like such. Cause I just met you crazy, enjoying quite a rush. And now my eyes are hazy, I won't forget what's yours. You think you're classy, happy that no one will pass you by. You think I'm sassy, snappy, you can see the reason why. You think you're classy, happy that no one will pass you by. You think I'm sassy, snappy, you can see the reason why. I'm lonely somewhere in this mind. I'm only showing a piece of us to find, and only means don't waste your time. You told me all I did hid inside the rhymes. I'm not an angel, baby. You know I'm not a saint. If I'm in shit, don't save me. I like to try to paint. Cause you're not kinda lazy. No, he's somewhere else. I may look like your lady, but it's not hard to tell. You think you're classy, happy that no one will pass you by. You think I'm sassy, snappy, you can see the reason why. You think you're classy, happy that no one will pass you by. You think I'm sassy, snappy, you can see the reason why. I'm lonely somewhere in this mind. I'm only showing the piece of what's to find. I'm only a mix, don't waste your time. You told me all I did I hid inside the rhymes. imagine one of the latest ones. I can show you a brief little insight to how cool the guitar solo in that one is if you want.
Go for it.
Real
That sounds
quick.
great.
Thanks. I had a lot of time to practice.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I
I
just
hope
wish
it's
I could.
alright.
Yeah,
One
I wish I could
One thing I know
hear
that
it.
happens when I plug this charger in, it fucks with the sound.
No, it just sounds it's Instagram, but no, it sounds really good. I could tell that it sounded, it's just so annoying when you can't be in the room to hear like all the tiny little bits.
Defo. I'm really looking forward to being back in the room. I'll give you a brief little, hang on, I need to knock the speakers on. A brief little demo of how cool this sounds as a full item.
Awesome.
Check that's all on. Let me know if you can actually hear this.
Yeah, we got it. Oh, that tone.
That's
Wow.
the song full produced glory, and I'm absolutely buzzing that dude said yes to being a lead guitarist for a band, because that is going to sound mint live. I can't wait. I say, hear my little measly guitar performance compared to full drums.
Yeah,
full
that is going to
scream.
be a good live track, isn't it?
I'm
I look forward to that.
buzzing. Well, that, and I've got a lot of guitar tunes that are like a similar kind of vibe to that. I've not actually properly gone for producing yet, so it's kind of interesting putting these all together in a production sense, and being like, okay, one, I know how to record guitar through a Rode mic now, which I think is a little mini achievement for me. Two, man, I can put some spooky synths in the background of this, which is like, you don't get that if you're just doing stuff with a band. So I quite like I'm hoping I can drag one more person into the band who is a wicked synth player called Tinizzo. Well, it's Nick Tinizzo, but we all call him Nizzo because it's easier. He's a banging synth player, so I'm hoping I can drag him into the outfit. I know he's keen to start playing live again. The positive thing is there's a lot of musicians who are gagging to play live again. So when you're like, let's put a thing together, everyone's like, hell yes, let's start a band. I want to go play live gigs.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's great.
You can tell that I'm quite excited about that one.
Of course. Yeah, no, it sounds really cool. Thank you for sharing it with us. A little sneak peek of what it's going to sound like.
I'm buzzing. Yeah, sorry about my phone battery.
No problem. At least we've got it.
I kind of knew in the back of my mind it might happen. I had 25%, and I was like, I'd be right. I'll get through the live stream on 25%, she says. And of course it dies. The 1 minute that I'm not there to plug it back in,
How
I
sad.
can't see the percentage. All I can see is the number of people, which is a little bit daunting. I don't know if it's just me that gets a bit like, what? There's 4 actual people sat on there. Well, there'll be 2, won't there, including us? I think that's how it works.
No idea.
Numbers, me.
Yeah, exactly. We had fun. At least we've got it. I've got it. I can post it now. The little the track that you did for us. It's not lost.
Hanging.
Awesome.
Not lost to the ether. It's been
definitely
awesome chatting with you. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you for kicking us all into action with talking to each other and, you know, getting us ready for the social challenge that will be the 21st of June.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for coming on and chatting to me and giving us a little insight into who you are. Hopefully you get a few more people interested in your music and coming to some live gigs through it.
You should come, by the way, for the 2 people on there. You won't be disappointed. Maybe bopping. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing you live as well. Last time I saw you was quite a while ago now, so I'm looking forward to seeing you live again. I'm sure with a year's worth of practice and personal development and all of that, everyone will be kick-ass when we get back. I can't wait.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Alrighty. Yeah, I guess I'll leave you to it. I'm
going
for a glass of wine. So
yeah, good shout.
I'll leave you to it. And yeah, fingers crossed I hear from you soon when we're out the other side of this. Light at the end of the tunnel, just. And I'm going to get you live again. It's been wicked joining you.
Awesome. Thank you for coming along. Have a good rest of your week. I'll speak to you soon. And see you soon, hopefully.
For the rest of your week, stay safe, stay happy, all of that stuff. I say, feel free to drop us a message if you just fancy a chat or anything like that. I'm here.
Oh, lovely. Thanks. You too. All right. Bye. Ah, lovely. Well, I'm glad that we got that track. We didn't miss it